Hi there, this video is going to be about doing cut downs for production music libraries, which are, I think, probably one of the bane of the life of the production music composer to a certain extent. I'm really hoping this is going to be a really helpful video. When I started doing this about 5-6 years ago, I don't think there was any real instruction online how to do it, and I don't know what there is now, but I've got 500 tracks in libraries at the moment, just over, nearly 550. So I've done this 550 times. So hopefully, if I could pass on some of my method to somebody who is just starting out, it will be job done. This is not to say that this is the only way of doing it. There's possibly a better way of doing it. It's the way I do it, and hopefully it will be useful. First thing to say is that I think these are vitally important, even though they're painfully unimportant to do. It takes me an hour or so, generally speaking, to stem out and to do 3 or 4 cut downs and different alt mixes for each track. Stems then are the individual sort of instrument lines. So you might have woodwind all in one stem, and brass all in one stem, and synths all in one stem, for example. Alt mixes are versions of the whole song or the whole track where you've maybe not got the lead, or you haven't got the vocal in one of them, or you've just got an underscore, or a very thin sort of background version, or a version without percussion or something like that. So you've got different alternative versions. And then these so-called cut downs, which take a lot more time, which are literally shortened versions of each track. Now, most production music tracks are going to be about 2.5 minutes, something like that. Fairly standard cut downs are a 60-second version, a 30-second version, and a 15-second version. The way to think of these is as them being standalone individual tracks or pieces, and I think it does help with the mental sort of struggle of doing this if you think of them as creating another track really quickly. If you look on your PRO, they are actually registered as individual tracks, and you do find over the years that actually these shorter versions do get licensed as much as the long versions. I don't know. I think probably on mine maybe not quite as much. I tend to be mainly the long versions, 60-second versions and 30-second versions. I see quite a lot. Possibly not 15-second versions, but that's just me guessing. But they are definitely used, and they're really helpful and useful to editors. So, okay, here we go. This is how to go about it, and I haven't prepared this or anything. I'm just going to do it as I would do it. So I'm in Cubase, and I'm assuming that there's a similar way of doing it in all different DAWs. In terms of, well, the markers are the main thing. So I'm assuming you can do markers in other DAWs. You must be able to. I've got my 2-minute thing there. Let's get rid of that because that was a spare bit, so that I don't get confused. I'll take my 2-minute marker out, and I'm just going to leave myself with one marker. So let's just delete those, and I'm going to do a 60-second cut down for a start. So what I do is I right click on here, which changes this from bars to beats to seconds. I'm looking for a minute. I make sure that my grid is locked here, and then I move the marker right the way to the left hand side to 0 seconds, and then pull it along to 60 seconds here. It's well worth zooming in at that point to make sure that you are dead on 60 seconds, which actually I am, which is rather good. I'm not always. I then go back to bars and beats like that. Now I can't really remember what this track sounds like because I haven't played it for a little while, but it looks like a fairly standard sort of production music shape, if that makes sense, in that it starts quite small. It builds up to the theme here by the look of it. There's a breakdown here, and then a bigger version of the theme, and an outro here. What I would hope, what I always look for first in a 60-minute, definitely for a start, is to get something like this big bit at the end and the outro, and then possibly to put a bit of intro in here, and it looks like that might work. Now 130 beats a minute, that sort of does sometimes work out. Let's have a listen and just see what we've got here. Okay, so actually there's a number of different ways of ending that. Could that end there maybe? Yeah, if I have to, I'd have to sort of make a new ending, but we could end there if we wanted to. We could certainly end here without the pizzicato at the end. Or you could put the pizzicato there. So we've got a bit of a variety of options there. Let's just put this in. I'm going to take it off so that it doesn't lock. At the moment it's ending here. Let's have a look. And you'd want to be out, sort of there, for after a minute or so. So this last sound here at the moment is here, and I'm allowing just a little bit of breathing space just for the reverb just to die down at bang on the end of the 60 seconds. Out, probably there. I may need to just adjust that slightly in a minute, but that might not actually be the ending. Let's have a look at the front. So if we did that, that leaves us with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars here. Annoying. Well, 4 bars is going to make a phrase. Let's just get rid of what we've got here for a second. Let's delete that, I think. Although my thinking is that we could make an intro out of that. What does the intro sound like as is? Okay, but we don't want that. Okay, so we've got a very thin introduction at the moment when compared with what it might lead into. What happens if we go here or here? Yeah, not sure we need all of these long lines for a minute. Let's get rid of those for a minute. What about if we started here? Because this actually works quite well on its own. Can we move it up? Let's have a look and see what it does to the end. If we started it there at 42. Doesn't. We could. This is the annoying thing, isn't it? Because actually we could put that pizzicato there. It doesn't quite give us enough time to die out, though, I don't think. I don't think I'm going to do that. Let's go back to where we were. So that's putting it roughly here, sort of there. Okay. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little bit of an intro in this bar and a bit here, and then we'll have these 4 bars as the intro here. So I'm going to make an intro to the intro. So let's just all of these bits here. So let's put the grid on again, so we click in, so here. So let's get rid of this little lot. I'm ignoring the long lines for the moment, so I may not even use them. So this is how it sounds at the moment. Okay, that's fine. I'm wondering if can we make up a bit more so we've got 2 bars. That would be good. We probably can actually. Out. I reckon we can probably squeeze that to 2 bars just about. Take the grid off again. So if we start it there, that will probably work. So what I ought to do, which I should have said at the beginning, is I do a file save as. So I'm keeping a record of what I've done. This is called planting out this track, and I'm going to do a 60-second version here. So I've got the original version, and I'm going to save this separate 60-second version. All right, I'm thinking then that we certainly don't need those long lines there, so let's get rid of that. I'm thinking we can do a 2-bar intro to the intro here, and then we can just tidy up the end, and that will sort of do it. So what could we use? Let's have a look right at the very beginning. So we need basically that twice. I think. Let's see what that sounds like. Let's take that little bit. Whoops. I'm just going to copy it. I'm not going to drag it over. I mean, I'm not going to just steal it from there. I'm just going to copy it and drag it over. There is a quicker way of doing this, but it never really works for me for some reason. And we're going to have that twice, I think. Let's just duplicate that. Okay, that's all right. Apart from the guitar's not quite right. What's the guitar thing? Change this a little bit. Actually, that might work. Okay, that sort of works. Let's take the kit out here. We don't need it. It's coming in too soon, I think. So let's... Okay, so that works quite nicely. So I've got a little bit of a tiny little bit of breathing space here, nothing much. Let's have a look at the end and see what we've got there. We're going to have to tie this end off quite swiftly, I think. So it's basically, several ways of doing this. We can do it with the input-output here, just by making this, oops, where are we? Let's try opening that. Just make that bigger. You can just kill it off, the whole lot off like that. Whoops, it doesn't normally sound that great though. Let's take the grid off so that I can control where that goes. This is very, very sudden. Let's just get rid of you. Have another listen. Okay. Sort of. Maybe if we didn't do it quite as much. And then there's another way of doing it, which is just to, I think, probably just bring this down or take the reverb down off that. Actually, that's not too bad. That might actually work. I suspect that will probably work actually. Let's save that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bounce let's bounce a version of that and have a listen and see what it sounds like. 60 seconds. It's going to go in the mix down. Now, what you mustn't ever do is bounce this out and assume that it's job done, because you will find in quite a high proportion of cases, really annoyingly, that the end is cut off or is not quite right, or there's something hanging on at the beginning and it doesn't sound quite right. So what I do is bounce the done things out, and I then go to that program that I can never remember the name of, called Audacity, isn't it? There we go. I then go to Audacity and try it in that. Now I've tried putting it into a new Cubase project or a new, it just confuses me. It's much easier just to put it in something easy and simple like Audacity, so you can actually see what's going on. Toy box turmoil. What's this track called? Planting Out. It's also worth saying that this track is not going in a music library or anywhere. It's just for playing with. Okay, so what am I seeing? First of all, I'm seeing that it is a minute long. It's exactly a minute long, so I'm checking that for a start, which looks good. I'm seeing that the end here looks cut off. I can still see, look, there's some sound there and then it's cut, so that's not going to sound right. The beginning's probably right. Let's have a quick listen. By the skin of its teeth, the beginning is okay. Any tighter or closer to the waveform there, and I think we'd be pushing our luck. It's really, really close. It needs to be pretty close because we don't want any spare space, but that's pushing it, but it's okay. Right, the end I think won't work. Let's have a check. Actually it does, sort of, I think, doesn't it? If we turn it up a little bit, let's have a listen. It's always worth listening quite loudly. That is actually okay. I'm happy with that. Okay, so that's the 60-second version. How I would do this now then is that I would make sure I've saved that, and I would just go File, Save As, and just change this to 30 and do a 30-second version. Save. And let's see how we get on with that. It's exactly the same process then. And I'm just going to try and fashion it out of the 60-second version if I can. I don't want to have to open the whole thing again. Going back to seconds, making sure my grid is on. Doing my timer thing here. Doing this to 30 seconds this time. So that's there. Zoom in to make sure. You see I've missed now. This needs to go 29, 30. Well done. Okay. This is so tedious. Man, I hate doing cut downs. Long live roll on AI, that's what I say, if it can do it. Oh, look. Interestingly and really annoyingly, this 30 seconds is exactly the tune, but there's no time on the end for a tiny little fade out. The last hit is literally, where is it? It's right on there. Look, you've got one beat exactly. Damn it. So near yet so far. So what do we do? Let's see if we use this coder again and see what that does. Let's just get rid of the grid lock. So we'd need to end it about there. I'm not liking that much either. And for a 30-second version, that wouldn't work too well because you've got half of the big tune and then half of the sort of fade out. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, this is the main part of the tune, but it's the second half of the tune, isn't it? Can we move it up here and find anything up here? So I'm thinking we're going to use half the tune and make a bit of an intro, I think. What's here? Let's listen. Okay. So that would work. There's a cadence there. That's sort of the end of a phrase, isn't it? And we can make that sound a lot more like an ending. It ends in the tonic now. It ends in the home key now, which is good. Let's chop these little blighters off and get rid of them. So we don't need any of that. Ah, look, we've got a massive amount here though we've got to do something with. We've got to make something up. It's actually not the tonic, is it? It's not far off though. Need to change the chord there. It's going to end about there. So that means we've got to fill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 bars. That's really awkward. And actually, that's the thing about these things. I think I spent a number of years trying to think that they have to sound beautifully symmetrical, and actually sometimes you can't be symmetrical, and you do have to have a 3-bar phrase or a 3-bar intro or something that doesn't 100% sound totally natural and musical, but compromises have to be made to a certain extent. So I think we may have to do something like that here. I might just even push that up a little bit more to halfway through that bar, and it would come out there, which means we've got a half bar here. And I'm thinking our friend the cymbal lead-in might work quite well here to give us three little bars of intro, a sort of proper intro, and then into the tune, if that makes sense. Editors apparently really like little lead-ins to, particularly cut downs and things like this. So if they're cutting into a scene, it just leads in. So cymbal things in, little reversers, that sort of thing. And they can be really useful for filling just a little bit of time, like here as well. So I think we might have to use that trick here. Let's cut here. Yeah, let's cut there. It's grid. And let's think about making some sort of intro to the intro. So this is the intro. Oh, we don't want the tune there, do we? Let's get rid of that. I think that's there by the sound of it. Oh no, it's not. It's that one. What am I doing? What's that one then? Okay, so now that makes it a bit more of an intro without the tune. We need 3 bars of something to loop. Oh, I want to use 4 bars. So we need bar 1, obviously. Hashtag cut down struggles. How to fill 3 bars without just looping that first bar, because that doesn't sound right at all. So this is real life, isn't it? I mean, this is what happens, sadly. It's just really hard. I really don't want to do that. It's rubbish. Come on, Andrew. What could we do? We could add something on the end. What about if we made the end longer and used a bit of this? So, bum. So we could go bum 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 off. That would work better. Let's try that. So if we can't fix one end, let's fix the other end. So I can lengthen that. Now you're talking. So now we've got 2 annoying intro bars only. And I changed this, didn't I? What did I go? Dee-da, dee-da. My beautiful guitar playing. Okay, so that end makes sense. If we put a little cymbal whoosh into that to use up some time. Where am I? There we go. Standard little cymbals. Cymbal crescendo 2. Okay, just going to drag that in now. Let's have a bar of cymbal lead in. No, let's not. That's going there, and it needs to start about there. That's going to be very long and probably quite loud. Beginning is here. Okay, that's all way too loud. It's not ideal, but it actually works. I think it's okay. Let's see if we can cobble something together at the end as well to lengthen it. What did I say? So I think we do... we need this, don't we? Oh my goodness me. And that chord there we need as well. Let's take you over. This is a really cack-handed way of doing this, but I do try and copy and paste these things, or I have done in the past, and I always mess it up for some reason. I don't know why. It's user error. Okay. Out. Right, that works. Now we need to get a chord on here. Let's get... All right, so I need to basically doctor this bit here. What I tend to do in cases like this is to work from the bass upwards, because I know I need to go to chord 1, or the home key, which is F in this case. So let's start off with the bass guitar. And I'm not going to do anything dramatic with it. What's the guitar shifts that I can do? Right, this ample guitar. Ample guitar, by the way, is a VST guitar, which I think sounds rather nice. I'm not a guitarist, obviously. It's pretty good though. Do do da da da. All we need, isn't it? An F major chord, I think. Okay, that'll do me. But it needs to be a broken chord. Probably. What did I do earlier on? I did a sort of broken chord, didn't I? Let's just do that. It might sound better. That sounds much more like it. It does have that funny off thing though. Bump. Let's pull that right out to 35 to cover it then when the pizzicato comes in, and it can come off there, and I can also diminuendo it down a little bit possibly. And it has these guitar shifts as well, so actually if you hear them together, the squeaky sounds here. Okay, which I think is rather nice. There's something on the shakers, might need a shake on the end. Nothing like an end shake to finish things off. Oh, beautiful. Okay, this is musical creation at its peak. Right, we're getting there, aren't we? This is this Pitts here, Albion pizzicato. Let's stick that together. We're going to need an F in there by the look of it. This is the stuff that takes the time. Oh, man, isn't it just like... I know. Da, 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 da. All right, maybe. Da, 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 da. I'm going to do that. What's that sound like now? Yeah, that sort of works, doesn't it, actually? Something a bit weird with the strings. Is it that? We need an F in there. Here, I think. Boom. Let's put an F in there as well. Ooh, that's fruity. Oh, all right, calm down. Let's quantize that as well while we're at it. Okay, that might sound better. Let's listen to that again. Okay, something's coming off, isn't it? Oh, it's the bass guitar. Let's get to the end. I can... Where were we? 35. Let's make it go the right way to the pizzicato. Oh, do you know what? I think we might just about have got that. Okay, let's save and let's risk it for a biscuit. I'm going to bounce that out and have a listen to it in Audacity because I think it's probably done. That took some doing. 30 seconds. Okay. I'm not going to do the 15-second because it's a similar process. I'm just going to finish this one off. My brain's frazzled from doing this 30-second one. Let's have a go. File open. 30 seconds. Find out it's 45 seconds or something. Okay, it's 30 seconds, which is good. This looks great. So that's it's maybe a tad long, but it's close. Okay, looking good. That opening's not perfect, but it's as close as we're going to get, I think, probably. Let's check. In that I think the cymbal it's a cliche. It does work. It's a bit long. It does the job. There might be other ways of doing it. I could have a sort of a couple of lead-in notes on the guitar or something. It's an anacrusis, like a half bar leading bob, 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 bum, or something like that will be another way of doing it. There's 2 or 3 different things. Let's check the end. Oh, it's a funny noise on that. Sounds like there's almost like a delay on it. Oh, there probably is on something. Let's have a look. That's weird. Sounds like there's a delay on that pizzicato. which I'm sure there's not. Do you know, I bet it's this guitar, the takeoff on that. So, no, that's weird. Is it the bass guitar then? Not hearing anything on that. Let's have another listen. Yeah, there's like a pickup, like an upbeat. That's very strange. Okay, well this is the sort of thing that I would spend ages trying to sort out. Didn't get it that time. Let me bounce another one out. So I just call this 30 seconds too. Very common that you end up doing more than one version or more than one bounce out. So I haven't changed anything on this. We'll see if it is different. There's like almost like a delay sound at the end. For some reason. It may be different this time if the round robin is different. Let's have a look. So file, open, version 2, just the end of this. Let's have a listen and see if we've sussed it. There's still a little wobble. There's a little wobble in there. I can't quite work out why or what that is. How could we get rid of it? We could drop the stereo out pretty quickly, see if that does it, so we can't actually hear whatever it is. That would actually probably solve the problem. What I need to do is to go into the individual parts and work out what the blithering idiots is going on. That's really irritating. Let's bounce out another one with that, with this pulled down and see what that does. So this will be the last one for me today. Version 3. Export audio. Kaboom. Okay, file, open. Version second, version 3. Yes, thank you very much. That's the guitar. There's just there's a little tick on the end. I'm not going to sort that out now. I really hope that's been useful, watching me go through the pain of doing a 30-second cut down. How long did that take? I don't know, 15, 20 minutes or so. And actually this is the way they go. Sometimes it's really easy. Things that are 140 beats a minute are often really easy. For example, an 80 I think probably is. 120 is a nightmare. I think the takeaway is there's always a way round it. There's always a way to get the exact thing by shifting forwards and backwards and adding a bit at the beginning or changing the end or turning things around or whatever. And it's really, really well worth persevering with. Hope that's been really useful. Do you have any other, if you're still here, do you have any other really top tips for doing cut downs if you've done them before that I've missed out? Am I doing it a really awkward, difficult way? Is there another way around it that might be quicker and easier? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.